Wake up, wake up. This is your Cup of Joe podcast, and I'm your host, Joe. And we're in the coffee shop talking to some extraordinary people, emphasis on the extra, just everyday folk, but heavy hitters in their own right, about different subjects. And today, uh, I brought my, so if you can do coffee, I don't necessarily do coffee, although we're in a coffee shop. I always get an herbal tea. This is my herbal tea. I call it Slippery Elm. And I brought it because, it might get a little, tea filled and hot in here. We are talking to singles, whether you're dating, whether you have someone or you just, you're doing your thing. I've been out of the game for 20 something years. So I don't know what to tell y'all about single, but I have some people here, some awesome people, extraordinary people here, heavy hitters. I don't know why, I'm surrounded by all these great, awesome. I mean, I do know why. It's way out of my range, way out of, some friends that I have that are doing some awesome things. But I am blessed to have some very, very heavy hitters. I'm going to start just introducing people. I'm going to start. So let me pause right here. So with everybody, out there in podcast land, y'all know me. I'm from Mississippi. I have a strong accent. So if I say Alma, Fenta, just look over it, because we have some people here, they're professionals. And, sometimes I speak with, my little country twang come out. So, all right, moving on. I'm going to start with the ladies. I'm going to start with Miss Marvelyn. We have Miss Marvelyn in the coffee shop with us today. Hand claps. Miss Marvelyn, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, hey everyone, I'm Marvelyn. I'm originally from California, so if you hear that accent, you'll know why. But I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm loving it.
Awesome, Miss Marvelyn. And I'm going to keep going around. And so below me, we have Miss Amber. Miss Amber, hand claps. Miss Amber, tell us a little bit about yourself, Miss Amber.
Hello, everyone. I am Amber Jewel from Alabama, currently residing in Texas. And I'm right there with you, Joe, with the whole country twang. So we're going to see how this plays out today.
Okay, so I don't hear it. I can't get rid of mine. So I can't, I don't hear it on yours, Amber. You in Texas?
It's there. I promise you. But yeah.
Good deal. Amber, we have Amber. And let's see, right, to the corner right here, we have Miss Beryl in the coffee shop. Hand claps for Miss Beryl. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Miss Beryl.
My name is Beryl, like Cracker Barrel. I'm from Texas, but I always say Texabama, Atlanta, because at this point I've spent the same amount of time in Texas, Alabama, and Atlanta. Is that all you want to know is where we're from? That's it. And I got a twang and a draw. So I'm double country.
Hey, you can tell whatever you want, however you want. If that's it, all right, okay. Well, let me go on further down to Mr. Cameron. He in the tie. See, that's why I got to work on my accent. He got the tie on and stuff. I feel like I'm gonna be. So Cam, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Man, don't let the tie fool you, brother. It's a part of the uniform, 5 days a week. If I didn't have to wear it, I wouldn't. But my name's Cameron. I am from Alabama, originally from a little bitty town called Leeton, Alabama, which is outside of Florence. And so now I reside in Birmingham, living downtown.
Awesome. Cam, hand claps. All right. And last but definitely not least, again, like y'all, as I said, I have some very heavy hitters on here. And this one hits heavy. Mr. Terrence Anderson, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, what's going on, man? I am Terrence Anderson. I am originally from Selma, Alabama, and I currently reside in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Awesome. Now you see back there, if you And I'm sure he can take his thing. I hate to say thing, it sounds kind of bad. He look, if you look in his background, you'll see Just T events. The man knows how to throw a party, event, whatever. So, y'all Atlanta, whatever. I'm sure you could travel, right, sir? You do some things. So listen, I got heavy, and I gotta say, Miss. So I've known I know pretty much everyone on this panel, but Beryl I've known for the longest. So y'all please forgive if we cut up a little bit, because that's what we're known to do when we all get together. Amen. So but we're gonna try to behave. All right, so let's start with that's y'all first question here. So you saw the name of this podcast is Party of One, the Single Life, Party of One. And so Party of One is a little play on words there. And like I said, I've been out the game for a long time. I was out the game before I started. I've been married since I was 20, y'all. So I found the love of my life, and we've been kicking it ever since. She's a lovely, lovely, devastating diva. Y'all too know about that. So I know a little bit, but listen, I want some people who at least have a little more experience in it than me. So when I gave y'all this title, I was nervous, because I went to my wife and I was like, is this a cringy? Am I trying to say that they just alone and stuff like that? I hope they get what I'm talking about, but I'm going to let them say it in their own words. When you got Party of One, and I'm going to start with Amber. I hope I can start. Let me start with you. What came to mind when you got this title, Party of One?
Little Joe, contrary to how you viewed it, I was actually kind of excited because I like to take words literally sometimes, right? So literally Party of One. I view my singleness literally as a party. I have fun, it's exciting, it's entertaining. So like Party of One, that doesn't really bother me. Hearing that phrase, I actually like it and I embrace it, because like my single life is indeed a party.
Awesome. So Beryl, let me hear from you.
So the just Party of One or single Party of One?
Single Party.
Just the whole
of
thing?
One. Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. I think because I'm 43, it doesn't bother me. If I was 23 and I thought that marriage was the goal, it would bother me, but it doesn't bother me. So when I go to a restaurant, even though I don't drink, I'm gonna sit at the bar, everybody else crack jokes. Sometimes I may choose a booth. Like, it doesn't bother me. I don't feel, sometimes I actually kind of feel bad for my couple friends. Like, I remember, I'm not gonna call her out, I was at the frames, going to get frames, and she was getting frames, and she had to take a picture of every glass that she tried on to send her husband. Do you like this one? Do you like this one? I was like, So, but I mean, I understood it. They have an amazing relationship, but it just, for me, it was real cringy. I'm like, so for me, Party of One is a whole person's a person that I don't have to be objectified. I don't have to check in on anybody. I put the juice in the refrigerator, I come back, it's still there. So for me, it's fine.
Awesome. Man, y'all said some great stuff, and I'm here checking notes and stuff. So let's Miss Marvelyn, what did you think?
Well, pretty much along the lines of these two ladies, I was excited about the title. It felt validating that as a single person, I'm still complete, valuable, I'm going to enjoy life and all its complexities, partnered or not. And kind of going on the restaurant analogy, even before I was married and in adult life now, I've never had a problem going out to eat by myself. And if the hostess or whomever says, how many are party of one, and I'm good. And I'm going to enjoy my own company, have a great meal, maybe have a nice drink. I'm still going to have a great time.
Awesome. That's what I want y'all to kind of get out of it. All right, fellas. So Terrence, tell me your perspective on the title there.
So when I saw the title, it was funny to me because I thought it was like Party of One. So I laughed. I was like, yeah, that's really the case when I go to dinner. But hey, I'm cool with it. I'm like Amber. I'm literally a whole party myself. So I enjoy my freedom and my singleness.
Awesome. Good deal. Yeah, good deal, man. Y'all are saying some great stuff. I hope y'all listening out there in podcast land. Cameron. Sorry, he has a title. I can't say Cameron. What do you think, man?
I mean, honestly, I think I agree with everybody else. I mean, it's kind of the same sentiments. I don't mind doing things by myself. So I'm a big golfer. I travel a lot. I would travel a lot for work, travel personally. So, me being able to just move how I want to move, it works out really, really well. So yeah, that the party one doesn't bother me at all because most time I'm out of town, I'm having to eat by myself or do something like that if I don't have a client or somebody or prospect that I'm doing that with. So totally fine with me, 100%.
Awesome. Good deal. So moving on to kind of staying with that. So y'all kind of hit on where I wanted to go next because I think Beryl said something about being whole. And I heard, I think it was a preacher, it probably was Bishop Jakes, I don't know, said that when you get married, it's not two halves coming together, it's two wholes coming together. And so that was one of the things I wanted to talk about or ask. And I'm gonna start this with Beryl, with how is being a party of one as meaning whole, is how is it important? How is being a part of one important to your wellness? Like, is wellness important? And I know it's important in married life, but as single, how does all that work? I'm gonna start with you, Beryl. I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Can you hear
Yes.
me? Okay, sorry, my bad. I'm not used to doing this on my phone. Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
How is when you talk about being one? I want to kind of use it as a metaphor of being whole.
Yes.
How does wellness and being whole and tell me about that, and being single, how does that affect?
Okay. So wholeness and being one is like, it's super important. Do you like you? Do you like spending time with yourself? Do you trust yourself? Do you have boundaries? Like, that's a part of wellness. Because I mean, I think you're probably gonna talk about marriage and divorce later, but I think that's super important before you can invite anybody else into your space. If you don't like you, if you have a problem with you, you're not gonna do well with everybody else. So it's good to be well. It's good to be honest with yourself. I will spend time if I'm in a funk or I've hit a wall. I will deep journal, cry, run, dance, do all the things to make sure I stay well. Because at this point, like I say, at this point in my age, I can't afford to not be well. I cannot afford it. Literally, it makes me feel it's different when you're in your 20s and you're not well. You just keep being problematic and you keep going. But when you're in your 40s, your body starts like being like can't hold stuff down, got the shakes, knees bad. I'm like, what is going on? So wellness is very important at this point, mentally, body, soul, spiritually. Like for real, it's like I need to be well at all times, and when I'm not, I need to sit down and go figure out and regroup.
Yeah.
So yeah, so as a single, that's super important to me.
Yes. Who wants to add to that? Just jump in. Anybody?
Well, I think Beryl had like 3 really great points. And what came to my mind about wellness, she kind of hit on like 3 of the different areas that immediately came to mind for me. So like, I look at wellness in a spiritual lens, I look at it in a physical lens, and then I also look at it through a mental lens. And so that's like 3 areas of my life that I try to maintain some sort of harmony and balance in, to make sure that like I'm showing up as a whole individual for my future partner. So like mental wellness, like whether that's journaling, whether or not that's therapy, physical wellness, like I'm in the gym, like I am in the gym. I'm like, one thing my future partner doesn't have to worry about is whether or not like I took my health seriously. And then like physical wellness, again, like going to the doctor, like I make sure that I'm going for my annual checkups. I'm making sure everything's right so I can have my future spouse's child. So like, I feel like wellness goes a lot deeper than just like the surface. Like you really need to be invested in every aspect of your wellness so you can show up as a whole partner to your future spouse if that's what you desire.
Okay, let me get a man. So Terrence, talk to me.
So my take on it is self-care is very, 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 very important. And with the topic being a party of one, you have to invest in yourself. You have to try to be a better you at all times. So as they said, going to the gym, staying healthy, so that you can be a better you to give to someone else. So mentally, physically, financially, you got to create the best you to offer someone else.
Good. You also have to. I know y'all like to vacate a little bit. Y'all get time going away, all that good stuff. So I think I seen, what was it? I think I seen Amber on Facebook playing with elephants somewhere, something like that. I was like, oh, see, that's what's up.
No, you saw me with the camel, you see me with dolphins. Like, I think if we can segue to that a little bit later, but like being single is not the plague. So if there's something that you want to do, somewhere you want to go.
Right.
Listen, what she said right there, you don't have to wait for the approval. You don't have to, hey, can you get off work? I can get off and go wherever I want to go.
I'm going exactly where I want to go, when I want to go.
Yeah, they sell single tickets.
Now, I'm going back to what Beryl said. Like, now, I'm not controlling at all, but about glasses, come on. Okay, but hey, that ain't the move. I'm married, y'all. Let me tell you, that's not the move. That ain't okay. Yeah, but anyway, moving on. Marvelyn, do you want to add to that?
Agree with everything that's been said, but just when you spend some time by yourself and you really get to know yourself, when you come to that point or you meet your person, you're not bringing all that stuff with you because you're a whole person and you took the time to address your health concerns, address your spiritual life, address your mental life. And so you can show up as a whole person healed for whoever that other person is. But even if that doesn't happen, as many others have said, just enjoying life as you are.
Yeah.
Go to that show, go on that trip, eat the food, whatever, just do you.
Right. So let me, I guess, put a sub question under that. So I don't know if any of y'all are dating or anything like that, how does dating play into that wellness? Let me tell you why, because, when you watch reality TV, it can really mess you. But I say this, let me tell you why I'm going here. Because so I've had former students, I've been teaching for almost like 10 years. So it's like crazy. I have students that when I started, they have children now and they're 19, 18, all that good stuff, in the 20s. But y'all, they really, really, really look up to people on the platform or people that have clout, if you will. I'm not going to say names because I don't want to get sued, but they look up to, and so when they look at reality TV shows, it's reality. It's like real to them. So when I look, I'm like, I'm trying to. So I hope y'all see where I'm going with this question. Like, so for as your dating life, for as who you're talking to or whatever, all that stuff, which I'm probably gonna get to a little bit later, but how does that play into, your wellness journey? I think Marvelyn said it, and I'm gonna go to Cam with this because he hasn't said anything. Marvelyn said it, and I thought about, bringing all that stuff, bringing someone who used to cut your tires or bust out your windows, that was a song, So how does your wellness, I'm gonna start with Cam, play into like dating, if you're, casually dating, what have you?
I mean, I think is very simple. Essentially, everybody has said a lot of things that made a lot of sense before me. But I mean, I think from where I'm coming from, nobody can appreciate you if you don't appreciate you. And so I think realistically, you have to develop something inside of yourself that makes you understand, one, who you are, one, what you like to do, one, what are your triggers, what are things that you know about yourself. Like, hey, do I know that, hey, I know I'm a driver. Like, I'm a person that, like, you want to do something, let's go get it done. We ain't wasting no time. We saying we're going to do this. Why we ain't done it yet? Why we ain't moving? Why we ain't going? So if you know those type of things about yourself, the things that you are, it helps you understand that, hey, everybody's not built like that. Everybody doesn't have that same mentality of just going and trying to get things done. And not saying that that's the right way to do it or the wrong way to do it, but understanding and acknowledging that and knowing your healthiness and being okay with who you are and what you have to give helps you understand what you need in another person. Because that other person is supposed to bring something to balance out for you. I may be weak in another area and then she's strong in another area. So in that mate, we have to determine what does each person bring to the table and what void do you have that I can fill? If there's no void for me to fill, then there's no point in my purpose in being in a relationship, and neither is there point and purpose with you being with me. So realistically, those are things that I think when I'm thinking about when I'm single that I've worked on and that I think about is like, okay, hey, what does this person have that I can be a benefit to them too? If there's nothing there, then it's like, okay, maybe we just need to be friends.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, what say y'all? Anyone? Marvelyn, you got anything to add with that?
I just had like one quick little something to add to your question, Joe. So I wanted to backtrack to the whole like next generation watching reality TV. Like we need to like do a better job at like teaching that generation specifically like what's reality versus what is produced. That's two totally different things. That's not a true reality. Just like when I was a child, I remember I used to watch wrestling, right? So like the old school wrestlers, not going to go back into it because I do not want to age myself by naming characters. However, they are characters. And so I think that we do need to do a better job of like teaching that, hey, like these things that are produced to get eyeballs are not absolutes and they're not the reality in which we live. So that's number one. But then number two, like just being single, I feel like most singles need to learn for themselves when they need to hold and fold. So for example, like if you find yourself every time you talk to someone, you're not feeling it. Every time you go on a date, you're over it. That is your body telling you that you need to sit down and you need to remove yourself from dating for a minute until you get ready to get back into the swing of things. Like that's part of why I feel like people are out here tainting the dating pool is because they're pushing themselves to do something that they're not ready to do on the inside. So I do feel like people need to get a grasp on like their own triggers, just as Cameron said, and realize when they need to hold and fold, like whether they need to hold off on dating, whether or not they need to remove themselves from dating altogether, or whether it's time to go ahead and put all your cards on the table and go all in. I feel like singles need to get a better grasp and touch on what's going on with them internally so they're not out here messing it up for everyone else.
Ooh, okay. You said a lot. Where's when somebody speaking truth in church, they be like, what's your cash app? So into
Amber the Jewel.
Oh, there you go. It is very important that you everything you said, because listen, when I tell you, I would think that, okay, these people just doing this on I people watch, but when I hit my former students up or something like that, it's like, why are you really mad about these people getting like, you do know that that's not how that goes. They really believe that, so they don't think that they're just characters. And so it's that's prayerfully what we're doing now is teaching this generation and the next, and maybe the generation before you, because we got some there too. Amen. There's this whole age that all of the things you all were talking about, and not to get your cues from reality TV and from celebrities and all the good stuff. Beryl, yes, I saw your hand. Go ahead, talk to me.
So I have daughters. My daughters are 11 and almost 14. And the difference between my mother, who was born in 1943, and me, who was born in 1979, my mother raised me to be a wife. She never really, that's what she did, because her mother, who was born in the 20s, I want to say, you had to be a wife. That was about survival. And so, but I always in the back of my mind, really didn't want to be a wife, but it was like, well, it's what you're supposed to do. It's like a resume. It's the thing that you check off a box or whatever. So I teach my daughters, just quick story. When they were young, they had their dolls, whatever, they was playing with their dolls. They came to me, they were like 4 and 5. I'm like, Mommy, we don't want to have to give birth. And I'm like, what in the world? What are you talking about? And I was like, where do you even get that from? Like little girls. And I said, okay, from now on, these dolls are not your babies. They're your employees. They're your students. They're your neighbors. You should not be thinking about motherhood as a young child. So over the years, I always told them, marriage is not something that you have to do. I'm not asking you to do it. I'm not pushing you into it. And if you decide to get married, I want you to experience life. Go travel like Amber. Throw some parties like T. Get out here and get a good job like Cameron. I don't know what you do. Marvelin, is that how you say it?
Marvelin,
my bad. And my mom. Okay, exactly. And I tell them, I said, you shave your head, get a tattoo, do all the things before you get married. I literally have said that for years, before you get married, because once you get married and have children, it's no longer about you anymore.
That's right.
And so when y'all were talking about being, reality, I'm in Atlanta, so I've done background work with movies, and y'all would be surprised how much that stuff is scripted. Come on. And I had a neighbor, he was a professional background. He was like, I was there when they flipped the table in this scene. I was there for this. I was there for that. In reality, not movies, reality shows. So it's not reality at all. But then we can step over into people that we know every day. They're not in reality either. They come to church, smile and praise the Lord, just probably got through cussing each other out in the car, or maybe not sleeping in the same bed. So a lot of times I try to tell people that, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. So you do what you got to do on your side with your relationship if you decide. And y'all are really teaching me as well. Like, and you said, Cameron, am I taking over? Am I talking too much?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Cameron, like when you said, you want to fill a void, you're going to be married very soon, talking like that, because a lot of women that I know, like, I don't need anything. I don't need anything. So when I was younger and I got married, I had a lot of needs, but now I don't need anything. Actually, right now, I probably need a hug, and you help me get the groceries in the house. Like I don't have that. I don't need a Captain Save-A-Ho. I just need friendship. I'm just being so honest. I need friendship. I need to be able to trust you. And that's it. I've been divorced for 7 years and have not been on a date. I have not been on a date since 2004. Like, I just be over here minding my business, being creative, taking care of my children, but I'm looking for friendship. And I just don't know if marriage is something I want to do. I just really want friendship. That's about it.
Wow. Hey. Yes, Ms. Marvelin.
I wanted to be married. I've always wanted to be married. I was not raised as a wife. I just wanted to be married. That didn't work out for me. But what I wanted from marriage when I was younger is not the same things I want from marriage now. When I was younger, I wanted to have children. I wanted to build a family unit. I wanted to build wealth. I wanted to build memories, grow up and grow together and grow old together. Well, at this point in my life, factories closed. I built my own wealth. I have my own property. So I don't need those things from a marriage anymore. So agreeing with Beryl, I just want my BFF, my companion, and kind of going back to what Cameron was saying, we should complement one another. I'm going to have strengths here. You're going to have strengths there, but together, the synergy we create should be like out of this world.
Wow. Listen, y'all, again, there's cash apps abound, y'all. They dropping jewels in here. They dropping jewels. And some
Joe,
awesome
I'm
stuff.
on the opposite end of the spectrum a little bit. Ooh, like wow. So I love everything that Beryl and Marilyn and Evelyn have said. But I still fall on the opposite end of that. So just like Marvelyn, I'm like on that same spectrum, right? Did a lot. But I still very much need and want a husband for all those reasons. Like, I don't care what I've done. I've never subscribed to the strong Black woman trope, never subscribed to that, even though I am textbook definition, I am, but is that something I personally subscribe to? No. I've always endeavored to be a wife, and I intend to be a wife one day. But as far as just strictly wanting like friendship or just like having someone for the sake of companionship, that still has never been my goal. My goal, like still, and I feel like even if, which I'm not, but even if I was to make it to 50, 60, 40, and I was still single and in the dating game, I feel like I would still have this exact same mindset of, I don't care. I want the husband and kids. Like, I don't care if my body can't produce them. We can go adopt, we can go do whatever, but like, I want what I want. And like, I really want a lot of women to like feel empowered and okay to say like, this is what I want. You can have your own whatever and still desire something completely different, and that's okay.
Okay, so let me just let me go with the flow. I had another question here, and let me get. I'm gonna direct this to Mr. Terrence. Get fellows' perspective in here as well. So let me give you all a story. I got married young because like when I saw my wife, Shawanda, well, we were at, everybody know me, this will, you will understand. We were at a choir rehearsal. and so I was not looking for any of those. I was not at 20. No, I wasn't. My thing was from college, I mean from high school, I was like, shoot, I grew into my head, I got some muscle. Listen, I'm about to go here and be, so, but choir rehearsal, she had these little short, I call them cheerleader shorts on, and Lord, I saw her from the back, and bless his name. And we just started talking and clicking. And from there, like for me, that is the one. And that happened at 20. All right. So where I'm going with this is, do you think that there's the one, or do y'all have a list? Because when I was thinking about it, but not thinking about marriage at that age, but I did have a list. And to be honest, some of the boxes she checked, some she did actually. She checked boxes that I even know that I needed, and I'm like, yo, I ain't think about that, but she like Cam said, Cameron, sorry, he got the tie. You got to remind me, Cameron, to say Cameron. And I'm like, yo, I didn't think I needed that, but that's what I need. I mean, she'll tell, it's a whole little thing. Listen, so leading to the marriage episode. I'll save that story for the marriage episode. If we do one, I think we will. It's the month of love. So we probably will. Anyway, so is there, I'm gonna start with Terrence. Is there the one, or do you have a list and they got to check all the boxes on that list? Terrence, what you got?
So, yes, I've been married before.
Okay.
Once, but 2 times. So yeah. So let me start off with the first time that I got married. You know how in high school you create that 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10-year plan. So I had accomplished everything that I wanted to do within that 1, 3, 5. And I think I was coming up on the 10, and it was the 10 was be married, buy a home. And I'm like, oh shit, I hadn't got married yet. So I was dating a particular person, and I was like, okay, yeah, it may be time. Yes, I was in love. Let me go ahead and hop out there because I got to meet this goal before I turn 27, 28. I got to get out there and do this. So I did that. And that didn't go over so well. So after then, I created a list. And again, like you said, it was some things on there. The list was for myself, and the list was what I was looking for in another spouse. And I found those things, but hey, that didn't work out now. So now I'm at the point with the hell with a list. Let me just make this list for myself and things that I want to do and how to better myself, how to enjoy my life. So I have this check off bucket list for myself. To hell with finding, getting married. I don't think I'll ever get married again. So that might be another conversation. Topic. But I'm okay. Yeah.
Oh Lord. Terrence. Bless him. No, man, that's real. So anybody else wanna jump in on that one real quick?
I will. I was married, once also, and I had a list, and he was checking off all the boxes, and similar to what Terrence said, a few I didn't even know about. So, and I was in love, and I jumped in, and it didn't work out. But the missing piece that I now know that I didn't know then is I wasn't in tune enough with who I was and what I wanted. And I think I would have made some different decisions had that piece been in place. So, but it's not. But to answer your original question, is there the one? Because I dated a widower, I don't believe in just the one, because for as many people as there are on earth, I think you can have compatibility and relatability and something deep and meaningful with more than one person. But I mean, we're not talking about being married 4 or 5 times, but I think you can create that with more than one person and it's still extremely rich. For those of you who find it young and that's who you end up with until one of you dies, blessings for that. And if that happens for you, fantastic, but I just don't think it's just one.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Man, y'all telling some great. Look, I want to get to, let's see, I got to get my tea for this one because this is probably going to be good right here. I want to hear, this is a little, just a little fun. What somebody, who I'm going to start, who I'm going to start with? I'm going to start with Cam. What is your most outrageous dating story? Don't give us names. You ain't got to give us places, but or you can say next question. Okay.
Dating story, man. Yeah. Wow. I looked at that question when you put that out there, and I was like, I don't really have any crazy like kind of dating stories. I've had some scares, some close calls that I kind of dissipated of before they even got to a date. But I mean, I guess I'll tell that story. I had what was it, man? I think it was probably about 6-7 months ago or something like that. I was talking to a young lady and we exchanged contacts, and so we were getting ready to. It was just we met briefly somewhere, and it wasn't just out at a function. And I changed contacts, and so we started contacting each other. And I think I had went out of town for work or something, and so she's texting me like, "Hey, I'm going to get my nails and my hair did and all this stuff like that." And then, I was like, "Okay, that's dope." I was like, "Well, maybe one time when I get back in town, maybe we can set up like a date and get our nails because I take care of my feet and hair, hands, all that stuff, So she was like, "Well, you should, why don't you just go ahead and cash out me and take care of it right now?" And I was like, huh? I said, excuse me? She said, yeah, you can go ahead and send it right now. And I was like, well, we hadn't even went on no date. I don't know you that well. We had no conversation. It's different if I was there or I offered you to come out on this thing. But, that's a totally different deal. Then she goes on this tantrum, well, I need a man that can do this, and I'm not low maintenance, and I need a man that's this, I'm high maintenance, and if you can't do this and do that, I said, you know what, baby? Hey, I'm not the guy for you. I'm not the brother for you, from that perspective. you know, because I value my resources, I value my time. I'm a banker, so I value that. Money is very high on my for financial. So we could buzz out. But that's probably one of the craziest ones that I've had. It wasn't a date, but it was pretty out there from my thought process.
You didn't get to.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on that dollar sense. But from my perspective, that's how
you ain't wrong. She was all the way wrong.
Yeah,
I'm not going to muddy the waters, but Cameron, you were possibly wrong, and we could talk about that offline if you like.
Oh Lord!
Oh, here she goes.
Wrong in this situation. I know I said it right. I'm stirring the pot. I know it. We can talk about it offline if you'd like, but there's potential there that there might have been a little wrongness there.
No,
I got my teeth, but listen, you take it offline.
Yeah, there you go. Come on, Beryl. Come on, cause I'm gonna come back and say what I gotta say after that. Because that let me get to what I want to say anyway.
No, I think that like, cause I don't know what type of like communication you and this person had. So like, I'm speaking like completely just from what you said face value, right? Like, it sounds like you're the person that brought this up, and so I feel like she was trying to call your bluff. Because it's a lot of men who take an approach like that. They're like, oh yeah, I believe in getting my woman this done, this is this. So I feel like from what you said of that story, she was trying to call you on your bluff and be like, okay, so since you're saying that you're about it, then be about it. Like, that's what I got from that. So like, I've seen that before. Like,
no.
I mean, that doesn't sound too far-fetched to me.
Let me get Cam respond.
Not to cut you off. But no, that was not the deal. The thing was, I said, no. Clearly what I said, here's what I said though. I said she was telling me that she was going to get her nails and hair done. I said,
okay.
Oh, well, maybe one day when I get back in town, we could do a date like that or something.
Got it.
Not now when I'm there. You know.
Okay.
So
I missed that to the story because I was like, wait, if y'all talking about this on the phone, then I feel like she was just trying to sniff you out and just see like, are you blowing steam or what's going on?
Well, even with that, if he said even if he said that and then he said let's do a date like that,
they go on the date.
I think they're going, but this is something that she already has to get done, her nails and her feet. She shouldn't expect him to pay if that's something that she's already going to do. They're meeting.
Hear me, T. I ain't say that he was guaranteed to have to pay for her toes, nails, whatever, that same day. I didn't say that. I just thought that she was trying to sniff him out, and I was like, I feel like she was trying to call your bluff.
But they hadn't been on a date or anything. They were just having casual conversation. So she shouldn't have any expectations at that point in time.
I'm not going to say
other than paying for it, you know.
I'm on the other side of that spectrum. I've had people do some like crazy things out of nowhere. Like, I'm serious. Like, I really have met some wonderful people in my lifetime, and like, and like for some people that's a norm. For some people, like before they go on a date, somebody's like, oh, well, let me take care of this. I look forward to seeing you on this date. And I know your face looks squished up because that's not a demographic that you're in. That's not what you do perfectly, and that's fine. But what I'm saying is there is a demographic of men out here who do that. Like, that's how they operate. That's how they move.
So Terrence at 42, if I'm having casual conversation with a young lady, Terrence at 42, casual conversation, you pay for your own, I'm gonna pay for mine. But if I invite you out on a date, of course, I'm going to pick up the check. That's a date, or if I invite you out, I'm gonna pick up the check. But all the prep work before you get to the date, you probably gonna have to grab a check on that yourself.
Which is perfectly fine. You're just not one of the gents who do that. But I'm saying that there exists.
They do.
They do. And they do without question. You don't have to ask for anything. You don't have to open your lips. They do it. So
they do. I can only speak for 42-year-old Terrence. 42-year-old Terrence will not.
Speaking for 42-year-old Terrence.
Terrence. I'm just speaking of Terrence. But they're awesome gentlemen.
Let me get Cameron in there. Yes, sir.
You know, them dudes she talking about, we call them simps. If you know what I'm saying, that's what we call them
those
dudes.
not
From that metric.
They're
From
not.
that metric. Is just what CT you talking the language that I'm looking at.
But I hate that this is the way that you all view chivalrous men, like men who just do nice things for women. I really do hate that's the way that they're
No. Let me clarify.
So a man is like, hey, I want you to feel special before our date. Let me take you to get your nails done. Hey, everyone, he's a simp. Everyone ring the alarm. He's a simp.
Amber, I spoke for Terrence.
Y'all got to stop that. Like, just trying to say that men are simps just because they did something nice for women. Like, y'all have got to stop. Like, stop the
let me say this. Marvelyn, I'm gonna come to you, but let me say this before you go ahead. So yes, I'm out the game, but so this is just opinion here. All right. So I would say, yeah, because I've seen there's a particular athlete with his wife, they labeled him that because he, loves to do things, but that's a little different because he's married to her, right? Like, we don't say names on the show just in case, but I will say this. I will say in Cameron's situation, as the female, I would be careful. I would get to know that person a little bit more before you allow that, because I saw one guy putting some girl on live because she knew what the deal was when I flew her out. That's what he said. And so I would just say, be careful.
I think that's another topic too, Joe.
What's that?
I think that's another topic too, Joe.
Ooh, we ain't got that kind of time.
I know we don't have that kind of time. But getting a flight,
before we get too far gone, let me hear from Miss Marvelyn.
Tag Marvelyn in.
Let
me clean up. Let me clean up after Marvelyn.
But a flight doesn't equal consent. Just want to make sure we decouple that.
Hold that, put a pin on that. Marvelyn.
I'm going to admit that there's probably a whole demographic, as Amber is pointing to, that I'm completely unaware with. But I feel like when things like that start getting exchanged, there's a little bit of transaction. Not that anybody owes anybody anything. I agree with Amber on that. But there's a expectation, if you will. I've actually turned down those offers before. I've had men say, oh, let me pay for you to get your nails done. No, thank you. I will do it myself. Now, once we get into a relationship or we get further along and you're my man, hook me up. Yeah, but I'm not expecting it, nor am I asking for it. And I think the major point that Karen was trying to make is they hadn't seen each other. They hadn't gone on a date. It was just casual conversation. But Amber, again, I'm admitting that I might not know of these men who just like, hey, let me pay for it. And that's cool and everything. But it seemed like she asked. And I don't think that was a fair assessment of him.
So going back to what
I'm not co-signing when she asked or how, because I don't have any of the details. But what I was saying initially when I started the pot was, is she trying to sniff you out? That's it. That was the only stance I was coming from. Like, is she trying to sniff you out? Because you have one demographic of men who just do, right? Who are just, they're giving and they're sweet like that. They just do. And then you have the other demographic who's just not like that. And that's okay. No one's saying that one's right or wrong in either situation. Like, I'm not saying that at all, but what I'm saying is that it exists. And I'm just like, we need to stop acting like it doesn't exist, because it does.
Okay, Cameron, I'm gonna come to you. Go, you had your hand raised.
Okay, yeah. Now, I never said that men like that don't exist, because they do. But at the same time, my whole point in that story is to get the understanding of, for me, I'm not gonna do that beforehand, because I value my resources and I value what they are and what they can do, because I understand the value of money and what it does and what it's supposed to do. So I'm not just going to go out and just do this to somebody I just met or we ain't had no conversation. We ain't had no real talk or no real value of what this is or what we doing. Why I must just waste money just because I just want to see you, or you want to put a requirement out there that I got to do this before I get to know you? I don't even know what you are, what you bring to the table, or what you got going on. So that's my whole point is, what value do you have to match that? It's a difference. I'm not saying nothing, because if I'm with you and I'm together with you, you can get the world from me if you with me. I'm gonna make sure you straight. I'm never gonna ask you to step down your value of where you are or your value or status of living. We're gonna take it higher than where you were at when I get with you. But my thing is, don't come in here like acting like you got to have Saks Fifth Avenue and Ruth Chris, and you've been eating at Taco Bell and shopping at JC Penney.
Ooh, no Taco
That's just
Bell.
my thing. But that's my thing. That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna come to you, Beryl, but let me say that. So what I'm hearing is just pretty much different perspective. It sounds like, so are we coming from the perspective of just casual dating, or are we coming from the perspective of this is a prospect? This is someone that I'm looking at, like this may be or whatever, or hey, I'm paying for this and whatever. This is just casual. This is just, hey, I may not ever see you again. So
I come from a space of intent. So whenever I'm entertaining someone, it's from a space of intent. So yeah.
Explain that to me real quick.
Yeah, like I try, because there's only so much that you can gather from face value of just like initial interactions. Like it really takes you going on a few dates to kind of get to know someone and have an in-depth conversation. But like at that very first beginning piece of it, like I try to get a grasp of like who this person is as an individual, what are some of their goals, kind of going back to like the list thing earlier. I'm like, I almost want to say death to list, because typically list people have like 18 things on their list, and like technically speaking, you really shouldn't have more than maybe 3 things on your list. Anything over that is really egregious at that point. But I feel like anyone that I entertain, seriously, like anyone I entertain, like it's intentional, because I feel like I have gotten a grasp of who you are as an individual, and you know what.
Okay.
I'm determining what direction we're going in. And Cameron, I'm not saying that, you know, her asking you in that moment was correct because you all haven't gone on a date. So I'm not saying that I co-sign that at all. I don't want it to sound like that's my flow, that's how I get down, that's what I support, because that's not necessarily what I support. But I do believe in calling people on their bluff though. I am a very, 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 very very strong person at calling you out on your bluff. Like I'm gonna do it every time.
Well, let me go over here. Beryl, you had your hand up. What you thinking? I can't hear you.
I have, like,
Okay,
when I tell you, it's so many different ways. How long the show?
It's
like,
go.
We got like
I'll
50,
let y'all know
we
when.
got 50 minutes left. I mean, when I tell you I got a lot to say, but I don't want to piss nobody off. So it's just kind of like, I'm trying to go.
So we talking, y'all. We talking. It is
No.
Yeah, be real on here. Be real. Be real.
I'm about y'all. I'm talking about listeners. Like it's when I tell y'all, when they hear
I love you, listeners.
I'm telling y'all, when they hear this, it's gonna listen. So I don't. It's so so many things. I'm just gonna start here. I'm gonna get away from what we're talking about, and I'm gonna say this to you, Joe. When you call, it's one of my pet, not about you. One of my pet peeves with the church is anytime they have a singles ministry, they assume that everybody single wants to be married. They assume it's kind of like singles ministry, and typically singles ministry at a church are young people that want to be married. They forget about single and widowed. They forget about single with children. They forget about single and divorced. They forget about single and not looking. They forget about all those people. So this conversation about dating, once again, I already told you, I don't date. I don't know why. I just don't. I friendship is more important. I love working with people. I have so many clients, and so those become my friends. But I don't. It's just something about like everything about what y'all was saying was so cringy to me. Is that like for her to say, you know, or you gonna put something on it in that moment? It's like to me, she gave all her her mystique away, like all her power away. It's like I'm gonna say it, and I'm just get ready to make sure you screenshot this. That was what's the difference between that and prostitution? Are you for sale? Is it like as soon as you know what I'm saying? Like, is that the transaction? Like, you buy me stuff and then I open up more to you? Not over here. So for me, it is conversation. Are you kind to the waiter? Does your mama like you? Do you have friends? Who are you with your enemies? I need to know all those things about you. And then maybe long way down the road, then we can get to the point where you can get my nails done. So that's why I think I'm so far away from I'm so far away.
So listen,
I'm sorry.
I love all the conversation. I even love the pot stirring. Look, I love it. Now, you know, I ain't gonna get like the other podcasts, you know, they get a little, but I love that because that's a different perspective. My only thing was Amber, I feel you. That should not be, but there are not a lot of people that think like the gentleman on this podcast. They think transaction. Look, I'm dating myself.
You said it. I was about to burst through my skin because it's just like we can take that same example and we can say that there are men who will take a lady on one date and expect to get some cooch. Like, no, that's not how that works. So like, is a man taking a lady on a date? Is that a form of prostitution? Then, since we're saying we're breaking it down to being transactional on that front, and again, that's why I feel like everyone needs to figure out, what do you want? Going back to my very first statement, what do you want in dating? You need to know when to hold and when to fold. I feel like if a man, all he wants is one thing.
What? What are we holding?
We don't know what that one thing is. Like, if that's all you want, there are means for you to go and get that. Go where you're appreciated. But like taking women who are not in that mindset and like, oh, I'm gonna take them on one day and say a couple of sweet things because I know she gonna fall. Like, it's just as manipulative as one woman calling somebody and asking for nails. Like, I put those two on the same playing field. So I just want to make sure that we look at it through that lens for both sexes and not just one over the other.
I get it, but so this is the 44 being 45-year-old Joseph just warning y'all. There ain't folks that think like that don't think highly intelligent like us. They don't think consent and this and that and what all y'all saying. All they know is I done paid for this Applebee's. We gonna go to this Motel 6 and you better do something. You better and if they got money for I don't know. I eat at Ruth Chris is about the extent of whatever of my expertise in Applebee's equal apple bottoms. That's what they said. Look, but they expect you. Look, I done flown you out. I done flown you to Dubai or whatever. I'm expecting something. And so my thing is, Amber, there needs to be a stage to get to that. So oh, this dude an idiot. This dude he, we
the beautiful thing about both of these different like scenarios that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. The stupid person will expose themselves quite quickly. Like, it doesn't take long. Like, especially if you're someone who's been dating, it doesn't take long if you like really pay attention. It doesn't take long to sniff that out. But at the end of the day, I just feel like people don't like to communicate. People don't like to be adults about things like this because you have, like I said, you have some people out there who think very transactionally. Okay, just like you said, Applebee's. I took her to Applebee's. I know what I'm expecting after Applebee's, and that doesn't equal anything. Like that doesn't equate to anything. And so
it should not. It should not. But listen, I people's watch, and I be thinking the same thing. Like, Lord, I'm glad I'm married because my God, today, I just don't, look, I don't want to stay. I love all the perspective. I really do, y'all. I do. I don't want to say I got. Let me see if I think y'all have said so much. So let me ask this just for you. Let me tell you this. Let me go back to the date thing. Just funny. So before I met my wife, I went on one date with a young lady, and the date consisted of going to this place we call the Commons and just talking and getting to know. It was the college cafeteria at Southern Miss, and we went back to her dorm, and wildest thing, and I hope she ain't listening now because she gonna know exactly what. But anyway, if you listen, I'm so sorry. Don't sue me. But she put her leg on the desk, raised up her pant leg, said, "Hey, can you help me shave my legs?" I said, "Check, please." What? I said, "You know what?" And I was like, this I done come here to be wild and not that wild. Shady, what? So what are some quirks that in this phase, before you get to I think Cam's, he did already said his quirk. What are some little things that people may do that make you say, check, please? Now, another one is, I can't stand when somebody talk with food in their mouth or eat with their mouth open. I can't stand it. Yes, it has happened. Before I met my wife, I was like, we can't. I almost threw up. But so what are some of those things that y'all, just little bitty things that you have that make you say, check, please. I can't live with that. Anybody?
So really quick, there was one guy we went on a date, and I didn't realize how bad of a quirk it was until that date. So like, has everyone knows what a hotep is?
Yeah,
the overly woke people. So I kind of had like a slight inkling, and I almost canceled the date because I had a slight inkling that this man might be a hotep. So we got on the date, and he unleashed it at the dinner table. I'm like, this is date one. Literally, we're sitting across from the dinner table. And he was like, yeah, COVID isn't real. It was all a myth made up by the government. And just like all these other hotep things. So for me, like a hard stop, like pet peeve, like the overly woke and hotep people, because I'm like, please tell all these thousands, millions of people, however many that have died from COVID, that is not real. Please tell me that, please.
Like you said, a fool gonna show themselves.
And it's gonna come quickly.
Who, Marvin? I know you. What's a quirk that's like you like? Check, please.
I tend to be pretty open, but probably the usual, like I can't do smokers. I can't do dirty fingernails. Showy, flashy, look at me, look at me, look at me. I can't do that. Can't do any of that.
Let me hear from the guys. Terrence, because I ain't heard from you in a minute.
So I think mine is like a overly aggressive person. Hygiene is important. That's very important. Teeth are very important to me. There's something I need to, yes, teeth are very, I need you to have a full set. So teeth are important to me. And I hate the person, I call it the 2 and 10 person, that someone that's like always just over intense or just does the most or whatever. I don't need you to be 9 to 5 all the time, meaning you want to talk about work. Like when I get off at 3, 4, 5 o'clock, whatever it is, I need to be able to have some fun. And I don't want to talk about work, politics, church. I need you to have a life outside of those things. So we can just have fun. Yeah. So
hey. Yeah. Let me go to Miss Beryl. I know you got what you got for me.
I mean, I'm saying, okay, pet peeve. I don't like racist. Really racist. The white man. Even, I mean, there's things, but I just don't like anybody like the super, like, they just racist.
You would not like
hotels. Oh, absolutely not. No, I don't like that. I don't like people that say salmon. instead of salmon. Like anybody, for real, anybody like mispronounce words that I'm just like sword. Are you serious? Stuff like that, and January. If you just say stuff like that, that would drive me just crazy.
I can't introduce you to nobody from Louisville, Mississippi, cause
I mean, I don't know, but yeah, just if you correct them and they get it right, but if they, harsh with it, loud and wrong, I'd be like, no, sir. And a lot of strawberry, raspberry. Yeah, but anybody, it's like you said about the hygiene. I mean, pretty much the basic stuff. But for me, integrity, like. If you are rude to the person that took the coats or rude to, calling people that's dealing with homelessness, bums, like if you just have to be kind. When I say I really need kindness, y'all have no idea. Like I need that's sexy. Integrity is very attractive to me. If you don't have a spiritual practice, if I plan on getting a relationship or being married, I would want somebody that was spiritual, that knew how to pray. But if it's always like the universe and all these and the crystals and stuff, I'd be like, no, I need you to know Jesus and the pardon of your sins. I need you speaking the Holy Ghost. I need you to know how to pray. I need somebody with a spiritual practice, not just get the money, hustle. Somebody knows how to sit down somewhere.
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't asked my wife nothing about no spiritual or nothing like that. All I know, she had them shorts on, but she said, "Listen, man,
they have to be funny. They have to be funny too. If they're not funny, I can't deal with nobody with no sense of humor. That's not gonna work. Can't be tried.
Camera, aside from cat, ask for a cat before knowing. What's some quirks, man, for you?
Oh man, yeah. Well, Beryl was talking about pronunciation, and y'all had me thinking. I was like, people that say the word coach.
What's that?
Coach.
Coach?
You never heard nobody say coach.
Yes, I am. Coach. Hey, coach.
So coach, that's country for you. Coach.
Roach.
Coach. Yeah.
My mama said Roach. Kill that Roach.
Yeah. Yes, coach. But no, I mean, I think they have covered a lot of it. I am big on people. I need to see how you move in the room. That is very important to me. How you treat your family and your mama. Like if you dog your mama out, you dog your daddy out, I already know you're going to give me the business. When you see me, when we get into an exchange or something, we get a little tense or tight. So no, I need somebody that can communicate. I'm big on communication and just being honest and real and upfront. I don't need no stress in my life because I live stress-free. So I don't want nobody to bring no stress to me, and I'm not bringing no stress to them. So those are kind of my things from that standpoint.
Man, I tell you, y'all, listen, I could talk to y'all for another like 2 or 3 hours, but I'm gonna give y'all just, first of all, y'all tickling me and everything. And then second, all the stir, the pot just wasn't stirred. Y'all threw some jalapenos in there, some ghost peppers.
Hey man, just do a part two. Just do a part two.
But check this out. So let me ask T, what do you have? I'm sorry, Terrence. Yes, sir.
So man, I think at this age, I think I read a post today, and I totally agree with it. I think at this age, the sexiest thing a woman can say to me is, "How can I help you meet your goals?" Like that's it. That might be the one. Hell, that might be the only thing that's on the list. If you say that, we go into the jewelry store. Like
y'all heard that? The man said first he might not even get married.
I might, but they say something come at me like that.
How can he help? Look,
we on one accord. We equally yoked. If you say something like that,
look, he done turned it into church. Where my organ at? Equally yoked.
Go ahead,
Beryl. Yes, ma'am.
But see, the only thing about me, and I don't know if anybody here is creative, is I feel like most people are drawn to me for what I can do for them. Like I like. If we got together today, T, I would be able to grow your business today. But do people like me outside of my gifting? So yes, I know how to serve, I know how to lead, I know how to do all the things, but it seems like I get inboxed and called from the most for performance. And whoever I'm with, if that's what I decide to do, I don't want to have to perform.
That's it. Very important.
That's
Mhm.
that's it.
That's
That's it.
like,
I
that's
will
it.
say, going to the marriage side is home is a safe haven. Now we talk politics, we talk church, you know, uh, but it's kind of a safe space. And what I love about everybody's perspective is, well, you're gonna give me new things to talk to my daughter and my son about. But we've already talked about a lot of this, like I talked to my son about, uh, hey, before you get married, why don't you go see the world? He said he wants to. He's into track. He wants to, go to the Olympics and be a part of it. So I said, do that. Now I say, now if you meet the one, hey, you do like me, it's more power to you. But I would love for you to kind of see the world and this and that and the other, and kind of know you and make sure that you're whole before you get with another person. And I'll tell my daughter this. My daughter is the same. Listen, she asked for a kitchen when she was little, those little play kitchens. I gave it to her. I gave her the dolls and everything, but I try to reinforce in her that marriage is not the end goal. I am not raising you for marriage. I'm raising you to be you out in the world, to be the best you. She wants the thing she wants to go in. I said, let's focus on that. She's at the stage, she's a teenager, so she wants to talk about it, which leads me to, because I hear the coffee maker going off. So listen, I know, man, I want to talk to y'all a little bit more. Well, let me get this. I hear the coffee, but I want to talk to the people who have kids. Just any one of y'all, just or all of y'all. Yes, that's right. I got to do a part two. I gotta get with y'all again. We got a whole lot more that I'm sure that y'all can talk about. I would love to get more perspective. Gotta do this again. But let me talk to the ones that have kids. So if dating, just dating, and just like, how do you navigate any part, all parts of your life, the single life with kids? I'm gonna start with Terrence.
So I can honestly admit, like, I hadn't been on a dating life forever, but because this is what I'm married to, my business, like
Okay.
it keeps me like busy all the time. But I went on an outing with a female, and first of all, I have a daughter. She's 8 years old. She's my whole world. So I did allow the person to meet my daughter. I think maybe like on the second time that we hung out, and I thought that was very important, because if my daughter, her discerning is pretty good, and if she doesn't click with you or whatever, then it's like bye, because she ain't going nowhere. And it's kind of like one of those things. Like, so I don't let everyone, well, again, I haven't been on a lot of dates, but it's very important that you have to vibe with both of us, because we're a package deal. So that's, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, good deal. Let's go, Miss Marvelyn. Same question.
Sure, I agree with T. It's absolutely a package deal. I have 3 kids, 17, 13, and 10. And my divorce was final in 2019. So I've been, out there dating, but I was very, very conservative about who met my kids. Only one person met my kids, and that was after 9 months of dating. And he stuck around for 4 years. So I'm very, very conservative with that. Like, I doubt that my kids will meet somebody else before the next one leaves the nest. But that's just me. It's not like I'm right and somebody else is wrong. That's just me.
Gotcha. So, Beryl, same question.
Once again, I'm not dating. I have not been on any date. But at the same time, one thing I got kind of concerned over, because why do I want to cry? I'm not crying. I'm a thug. My girls have not seen me loved well before
Mm.
by a man. And so it's the only reason why I've thought about possibly, I mean, their dad, he's cool. He does what he's supposed to do with the girls, whatever. But it's not a loving relationship. He's my co-parent. He's my partner. He's family. He's not, there's no like, there's nothing, yeah.
Mhm.
But so it kind of concerned me recently because they're preteens or whatever. So it's the reason why I've been contemplating with possibly getting into a relationship so they can see healthy love. But I'm still just not there yet. Like I'm there, but I'm not. A lot of my friends be like, I will hang out with my married girlfriends and all of them will get hit on and nobody will hit on me. And so, and I was like, I don't know what repellent energy that I give off, or I'm not like what Amber was saying. I'm not like super strong. I'm just very like I guess I'm not looking. So I don't have any, I'm using this word, but I'm not talking about soft women, but I don't have desperation. I guess I'm not soft. I'm not soft in a way of, I don't know, but something about me, apparently they just don't, when they come to me, it is to get, it's business or your friend can't talk to your friend, but for some strange reason, they just don't see me. But lately I've
Hey,
been, like I
Beryl,
said, I've been thinking.
You may have that
What?
go to hell look. I don't want to be bothered. That's like you
Well,
might have, you might
I
have,
think I may,
know
but
some men that like
you
that.
probably got to change up. You probably be like, don't say nothing to me.
I think because I so badly want them to cut to the chase. Like, what's up? What you need? What's going on? What we doing? Because I think that's what it is. I'm so like, what are we doing? And I think because when you are 43, no time to lose. Like you just gotta you just don't. I just don't. And so I don't know. But yeah, so as far as with the children thing, I'm at a point now where they need to see it. I didn't grow up seeing it. They were too young when I was married. And now because they are girls, I want them to see their mother loved well. Somebody told me this guy that mother didn't raise him. He said that children need to see their mother happy. Well, they see me happy, but have they seen me be loved?
Man, okay, look.
I went to, just real quick, I went to a couple of weeks ago, me and the baby, we went to Lowe's together, and it was an attractive lady behind the register, and I was debating on saying something to her. And of course, she was looking at me. So my baby actually like, Daddy. I was like, what? Then she asked the lady, she's like, why are you looking at my daddy? I was like, could we? So she won't let me be great. Like she asked the lady, like, why are you looking at my daddy? I was like, yeah, come on, we're gonna go to another register. Like,
yeah. What you looking at, man? Look, man, listen, y'all, I have immensely enjoyed this. I'm going, listen, I got to get y'all back in the coffee shop soon. Get some more I might need to change the coffee shop to what's that spot I like to go in New Orleans? Manning's or Time Out. Because we got a little gumbo going on with some spices up in there. And we're going, kick it again. But before we go, I'm going to start with Mr. Cameron. Just give us some parting shots, advice you might want to leave with our audience.
Well, I apologize. I had to get on the road to some event I had to do. So I'm in the car, so you have a little road noise. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I mean, I don't really know, what to leave y'all with. Look here, just watch your money, and your money will watch you.
Watch your money, and your money will watch you. Let's go. Amber, what advice would you want to leave with our audience tonight?
Well, first, Joe, thanks for having me on. I really enjoyed being here, being able to kiki with everyone this evening. I really enjoyed my time with you all. But just parting advice, keep God first. Like with God, you can't, like you literally can't lose. You can't lose, you can't fail. Like just pray about your moves and act. So know when to hold, know when to fold, work on yourself, and be intentional, communicate, and you'll be okay.
Awesome. Know when to hold. Who is that? Kenny Rogers. Yeah. You gotta know when to hold them. All right. Miss Marvelyn, same question. Thank you all. Thank you for coming on as well.
Well, thank you for having me. I've enjoyed this. The
Thank
energy
you.
in this has been fantastic.
Yes.
What I would leave listeners with is love yourself. It's a lesson that I unfortunately took a long time to learn, but when you love yourself, you're not going to fall for the okey doke, if you will. You're not going to be dealing with, a lot of riffraff and all that stuff. So love yourself, know what you want, and you'll be good.
Awesome. Awesome. So I'm gonna go to Beryl. What advice would you want to leave with our audience?
The advice I would leave with our audience is that people change. About every 7 years, a person changes. So who they are, they may have been a non-smoker, non-drinker, non-cusser, but then life happened. They may be the opposite. They may have started out, a thug and then became a deacon. So just be open to, the mountains and the valleys of a relationship, and that people change. So when you say to death do us part, or when you become intimate with somebody and swap souls with them, just know that people change.
Oh, that's a bar right there. Everybody dropping bars, but all right. Last but definitely not least, last and the best, Terrence. What do you have for our people?
So my parting words are to make an investment in you. Find out who you are so you can be the best you, to be better for someone else. Learn to listen with your heart instead of with your ears. Learn to become, if you're considering a relationship or whatever, know that you have to be you have to be selfless, and invest 100-100. It's not 50-50. So you have to give your all so you can be the best that you can be.
See, I know I saved it. See, party of one. It's 100, 100. Boom, right there. And man, I would like to thank you all again for coming into the coffee shop today. I will say this, a little transparent. So I got married at 20, and marriage, I going back to what Beryl said, changes happen. I'm not the same person I was at 20. And one of the things that I would recommend is I really wish that I would have known a lot of me before I married my wife, because a lot of stuff I still took her on up and through, real talk. She was, and she is the one. However, I should have done my due and say, hey, babe, let's walk this out at single, and we're gonna get married at this time. We knew that we wanted to be with each other, but coming from her background and my background, especially, I should have walked it out and planned it out a little more. I believe when you find that one, you try to make space to be the best person that you can for that person. And it's the grace of God. I'm here by the grace of God. If it had not been for the Lord on my side, she would, because I don't know how she put up with me. Y'all see how I am. I tell corny jokes all the time. She'd be like, look, can I just sit down, chill? But anyway, I wish I would have had a Beryl, a Marvelyn, an Amber, a Terrence, a Cameron, because y'all listen. One of my goals is I want some young people to hear this, even people you all's age, y'all age range. But I really want some young people in the 20s and stuff to hear this, because everyone's giving such great advice this evening, and I pray that not only it goes out and it's fun and everything, but it does hit someone and it helps someone. So I thank you all again. I thank you all for listening out there. And this has been your Cup of Joe podcast, and I will see you later.